Yogah Karmasu Kaushalam.
Namaskar friends, I am Dr. Jagdish Joshi, Professor and Director of UGC Human Resource Development Center of Gujarat University, Ahmedabad. I would like to introduce a resource person of today. She is Dr. Neha Arun Haryani. She is presently working as an Associate Professor in English at SB Garda Arts and PK Patel College of Commerce, Navsari. The college is situated in India. She is an accomplished and a dedicated academician with over 23 years of professional experience in teaching English language and literature and soft skills. She worked on a spiritual journey as reflected in selected works of Paulo Coelho and Robin Sharma, wherein she analyzed the works of Paulo Coelho and Robin Sharma in the light of a hero with 1,000 faces, a seminal work of Joseph Campbell, a renowned American anthropologist, mythologist, and psychologist of the 21st century for her doctoral research. Dr. Haryani is a motivational speaker certified by IAP Career College of United States of America, that is USA. As a motivational speaker, she has revolutionized the lives of many through her zeal, perseverance, and unique techniques. Besides, she is also an image consultant for personal and professional image building. She has been certified for that by International Association of Professional Career College, USA. Her unique contribution as a motivational speaker and image consultant accords her a prominent role as an interpreter of culture from the Eastern to the Western and vice versa, thus inspiring her students to understand, appreciate, and interchange both cultures. Dr. Haryani has visited a number of countries like USA, UK, Schengen countries, Singapore, Malaysia, Africa, and UAE in the quest for her stupendous objective and achievements. She has a wide experience of personal, public, corporate, and educational institute in image building for both in-depth and broad-based representations. Her expertise includes etiquettes as corporate communication, personal style skills, presentation skills, dressing etiquettes, wardrobe shopping strategy, interview facing and teaching skills, motivation, stress management, public speaking, soft skills, and total personal makeover. She has attended pioneering flagship international faculty development program in UK, organized in collaboration with British Deputy High Commission and Government of Gujarat in 2018. She is a teacher educator at national level orientation and refresher programs for college and university teachers organized by various UGC Human Resource Development Centers of India. She has developed various modules and presented those modules for ARPIT program, which are delivered under MHRD SWAYAM programs. Dr. Haryani has presented and published widely at national and international levels. I am very happy to invite Dr. Neha Haryani to talk on flipped and blended learning. She herself has been practicing this flipped and blended learning since many years. So I would like to say that she is one of very prominent speaker and she is one of very prominent practitioner of flipped and blended learning in Gujarat. So I would like to invite her to talk to you. Over to Dr. Haryani.
Hi, this is Dr. Neha Arun Haryani, Associate Professor, SB Garda Arts and PK Patel College of Commerce, Navsari, Gujarat. UGC HRDC Gujarat University has developed a symbiotic relationship between teacher motivation and the quality of education. Its dynamic director, Professor Dr. Jagdish Joshi, is indeed a mirror in which the real face of HRDC Gujarat University is reflected. It is the result of its unparalleled administrative skills, high intention, prompt action, and intelligent direction that HRDC Gujarat University has designed high-quality course content with an innovative approach, and that has become a benchmark for others. Thank you, UGC HRDC Gujarat University and Dr. Joshi for making me the part of this learning revolution by providing me an opportunity to connect with you and deliver my session on blended and flipped learning. Thank you. With the rapid rise of technology in the 21st century, the technology vista is widening its horizons in the field of higher education. As technology has become an integral part of our everyday life, it's time for us to cope with it and embrace technology in our teaching methods. At present, it's the urge of the day that we teachers accept, appreciate, and implement new learning methods such as the blend of the technical and traditional learning. Such blended learning will help us to reach and teach our students more effectively and efficiently. Because when technology blends with teaching, it creates a more vibrant and active classroom environment. Recently, the concept of blended learning is getting popular globally. So what is blended learning? Broadly speaking, it is a combination of face-to-face and online interaction. It bridges the gap between the traditional and digital learning and help us widen our concept of the confined classroom teaching and maximize learning for all students. To quote Cottle in this regard, blended learning isn't something that has to be confined to the classroom. And so, as I teach blended classes, I think the more I can involve the students in learning and the more context I can involve them in, the more they are going to learn. The idea is to get them to slowly digest the information in different ways and to engage in different activities so that by the time the course comes to an end, they can apply the knowledge they have learned. That's the ultimate goal, to get them to be in a state where they can apply the knowledge. The goal of blended learning is to promote student-centered learning by focusing on the learning aspect. And this is only possible when the traditional and digital learning complement each other. When we try to shift our focus on the learning aspect, we are able to pull our students from the traditional approach of just passing examination to the actual acquaintance of knowledge. And this will help them to digest and apply the knowledge wherever required. So, in a way, the goal of blended learning is threefold: absorb, do, and connect. Absorb is to gain the knowledge, do is to engage in various activities, and connect is to apply that knowledge to real life situation. Thought leaders have provided a variety of blended learning models, but all of them does not go well with college students. But yes, there are 7 blended learning models that work effectively in higher education and are used at present. The first is the face-to-face driver model. Now, this blended learning model is based in the classroom, but a significant amount of class time is allocated to online learning. But here also, the seat time is must. And this model works best in diverse classrooms where the students are functioning at various levels of mastery and skills. The next is the rotation model. Now, this blended learning model is used by us, the teachers, since long. Here, the students rotate among various modalities, and of course, one of them is the online learning. But here also, first, it is the set schedule of the face-to-face time with the teacher, and from there, the students move to other learning stations, such as some group work or some project work group activities, and from there they move to the online learning station, maybe the online learning lab in the campus. The best advantage of this blended learning model is that here the teachers are able to assist their students based upon their need. Next is the self-blend model. Now, this model is different from the other blended learning models, as the other blended learning models are course level models. This self-blend model is a program level model and is very popular among college students. Here, the students enroll in their regular colleges and take the traditional classes. But at the same time, they choose some relevant online course to supplement to their regular courses. It is like an additional topping to the pizza. Next is the flexible model course. Now the name suggests here it provides a variety of instruction modes. It depends upon the students to choose which class to take, the online or face-to-face. Next is the online driver model. Now this model is inverse to the traditional classroom, where most of the activities are done online, with a required few in-class activities such as attending the labs or some important lectures. Next is the flipped classroom. Now this model is in reverse to the structure of the traditional classroom of attending the lectures and then doing the homework. This model is the most popular model of blended learning. We'll discuss this in detail later. And the last is the blended MOOC. This model is a form of the flipped classroom where the in-class meetings are a supplement to the massive open online course. The students access the online material of some universities, institution, or some instructor that is available online and then come to the class to have relevant activities or discussion. Now, this is not just a static list, but a snapshot of blended learning models that are working at present in higher education, because blended learning is a new kind of personalized learning. The key drivers of blended learning are: it improves the ability to personalize instruction. It improves the potential for individual progress. It improves the student engagement and motivation. It extends the effective reach of teachers and prepares for online state assessments. And it also improves the working conditions. As online learning is improving, expanding, and openly available, we as awakened educators should also remain open and try to adopt this kind of learning, because blended learning is a transition from education for life to lifelong learning. Thank you.
Blended learning is a way of teaching that combines online resources with in-person instruction to create a more personalized learning environment. With blended learning, instructors often make some or all of the content available to the students outside of class time. Taking this to the extreme, students could consume all of the traditional lecture material at home at their own pace, and during class time they could complete work assignments traditionally given as homework during class, as well as other activities like team-based or project-based learning. This describes the flipped classroom model, because it flips what students do at home and in the classroom. Typically, when a teacher creates a lecture, they have to make an educated guess about the knowledge level of their audience, since they have limited information about what each student knows or remembers. If a lecture is too difficult, then most of the students will be lost. If it's too easy, then most of the students will be bored. So teachers typically end up lecturing to the mythical middle of the class and hoping for the best. By putting their content online, students can move at their own pace. Those who are familiar with the material can go through it quickly, even watching it at an increased speed, while others who aren't as familiar with it can pause to take notes, rewatch it, or call up other resources to help them understand a concept being explained. An additional benefit for all students is that they can choose to engage with the material when they're most alert, which satisfies both the early bird and the night owl. And for those students that have disabilities, they can take the breaks that they need without having to worry about missing out or distracting others. Putting work assignments back in the classroom also has a number of benefits from a learning science perspective. A lot of students describe the frustration of feeling like they understand a concept in class, but then being confused when they go home and try to apply it to an assignment. This is also supported by research. We learn best through active work, not passive listening. Doing work assignments during class time means that teachers are available when students need them the most, when they're trying to apply their knowledge. Another place where students traditionally struggle is with out-of-class group work, because it can be hard to coordinate an in-person meetup as well as make sure those meetings are constructive. Moving group work into the classroom setting makes the logistics straightforward, and it also allows the instructor to keep an eye on group meetings and to help facilitate them if needed. An important aspect of all blended learning environments is that they're not intended to do away with face time in the classroom. Unlike online classes, where all of the material and interactions are online, blended classrooms count on face-to-face interactions between students and teachers. Instead of getting rid of these interactions, blended learning structures are intended to optimize them, moving the teacher from a passive sage on the stage, who delivers didactic lectures to a large audience, to a more active role as a guide on the side, who interacts one-on-one with students to help guide them in ways that might be impractical or impossible with a traditional teaching model. By doing this, blended learning classes move from a teacher-focused learning model to a student-focused learning model. In a traditional classroom, the approach is generally time-based, meaning the whole class moves at the same pace. All students get the same lesson on the same day, and are tested on that material at the same time. And then they all move on to the next topic regardless of their individual exam performance or if they have gaps in their knowledge. Blended classrooms are flexible enough to allow the use of a mastery-based model, which acknowledges that not all students are going to get the material at the same time. Some students might need more time to understand a topic, while at other times those same students will speed ahead. By giving students as much time as they need on a topic and letting them decide when they're ready to be tested, blended classes can help to ensure that students move forward only when they've shown that they can apply what they've learned with confidence. Blended learning, though, like any teaching approach, brings with it some important challenges. Because this approach depends on technical resources, they have to be affordable, reliable, and easy to use for both the students and the teachers. Oftentimes, there's also a learning curve that has to be navigated, especially for those that have never used technology in the classroom. Another challenge is making sure that the materials are being reliably and independently consumed by the students, and they're coming to class prepared. This can be incentivized by closely tying in-class work assignments to the content that's being delivered online, and can often be tracked with learning platforms. Finally, one of the biggest challenges to blended learning is that it really changes the role of the teacher to that of a coach and puts students in the driver's seat of their own learning, teaching them how to think as well as what to learn. This shift is an important one and requires buy-in from both the teacher and the student to be successful. When it's done right, though, blended learning can lead to a much more enjoyable and effective learning experience for both parties. Alright, so as a quick recap, blended learning combines online resources with in-person instruction. And one type of blended learning is the flipped classroom, where students consume their lecture resources at home and spend class time doing in-class activities. This allows the teacher to change from a passive sage on the stage to a more active guide on the side, facilitating a student-focused learning model.